I wanted to go back to 2021. I know you were not in this position, but you were in SEPTA, as was many of you. And there was that horrific sexual assault that happened on a train between here and Upper Darby to 69th Terminal. I was not elected at that time. I was the president of the National Organization for Women, the Pennsylvania chapter, and we had a rally that got on the train and went from there to Upper Darby to really talk about lack of security, lack of issues. So I wanted to, there were some demands made then, and I just wanted to see what the follow-up was around that. And mainly they were about monitoring those cameras with live people.
Right.
And they had cameras then, but nobody saw what was going on and could have stopped it much earlier. So one was about live monitoring of cameras on public transport, more trained social services personnel, which got discussed, I believe, already, and education about for customers and passengers, what to do and have clear messaging around that on our trains and subways and buses. And so that's one part of the question. The second part is we're embarking on a human trafficking campaign of awareness and prevention. The RFP has gone out. I wanted to know what SEPTA was doing around this issue in this year and then to continue going forward. So those are my two main questions.
Yes, so to go back on some of those, some of the demands that you mentioned, we didn't at the time, but have since successfully achieved the ability to have live look-in on all of our trains. So that technology was introduced a couple of years ago, and on every shift, as long as trains are running, I have a civilian team of folks that are watching these trains. So we've achieved that. That has actually resulted in a lot of crime reduction for us. The work that they're doing is phenomenal. So we've seen that success. In terms of human trafficking, a couple years ago, we spent some time working with the Department of Transportation on the creation of a training block for frontline staff. That was achieved through all frontline employees at the time that we delivered that a couple years ago. But part of the work that we did on that was developing a training block for new employees. So now every new employee that comes into SEPTA gets a block, sort of how to recognize signs of human trafficking, how to report it, things like that. So everybody touches every frontline staff that works at SEPTA. I would tell you specifically for this year, for the events of 2026, that we are working on sort of a refreshing awareness campaign. So the police department is putting together sort of training bulletins for our staff. And starting in May, we're going to start rolling out every week a new training bulletin for staff. And it's going to be on things like recognizing suspicious behavior, how to recognize it and report those things. Human trafficking is going to be a topic for that. So the goal is, as we move up into the bulk of these events, refreshing our employee staff with how to recognize these things and how to report them.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear about that. I wanted to know, since you have this live monitoring, have you been actually able to intercept and stop? What's the data around having that? And also with the training, since you've had it for a while, how do you follow up to see how effective it's being or not, and where's data around that?
Yeah, I don't know if we have specific data on attributing arrests to it. I have examples, of many times that our live monitoring team, our virtual patrol team, is seeing incidents, both serious in nature and non-serious. So they're directing police, all day long. Essentially, if I could describe the workflow, right? Like, they'll see an incident that requires police attention, they'll snap a picture, and within a minute, that's in the hands of every police officer in the field. And this is going on all day long, where pictures are going out to our team. It's been instrumental in some of the positive statistics that we've referenced.
I so deeply appreciate that. The reason I ask this and ask for data is to tell our public that this is happening and you are doing this proactively and you're, making it safer. People don't know this. It's a good thing in one way that you can catch people doing bad things, but I think you would increase ridership if people knew you were so proactive about this and making sure and then tracking it. Without tracking, I'm just taking your word. I don't disbelieve you, but I think for people to know, there should be a dashboard of some sort that SEPTA should have that says this is what security looks like on SEPTA. And we could have dashboards for other items that SEPTA grapples with. But that's a public-facing kind of tool that could help your ridership, help so many things it could do. So I think we need to be proactive in telling our communities, our constituents, that the money we're investing in you is, bearing fruit. And they need to see that. People need to see their tax dollars being used appropriately. So I thank you for the work. I just need to advertise and amplify it and have data to actually back up what you're saying, because I'm a scientist. So I will take your word, but I need trust but verify. So I would appreciate that. Thank you so much, Council President.
Yeah, I want to echo those sentiments. Again, maybe some type of SEPTA safety public campaign. And again, one, it builds the confidence up of the public and the ridership, but also, again, one of the key conversations, and my members can testify, when we were meeting with the senators up in Harrisburg, they were saying, well, it's not safe, we live in the county, it's not safe there. And we're saying, but our numbers tell us otherwise, but the onus is on us to create that narrative that, no, here's the facts that we are making progress and we are safe in these areas. And to be quite frank, we should be even safer or cleaner than regional rail, right? In terms of the level of service that we're providing to the inner city ridership, similar to folks that take these trains to go out into the counties when they're leaving Philadelphia, going back to their counties where they live at. And so that would be our expectation, to see some type of campaign when you come next year. They say, here's how we're telling the SEPTA story. So with that being said, the chair recognizes Councilmember Dr. Anthony Phillips, then Councilman Kelsey Lozada, Nicholas O'Rourke, Jim Hardy, then Jamie Gauthier.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to say thank you to Scott for his leadership. You have been truly yourself and in this role, and I think it's been really telling. We want to thank you for what you're doing to bring SEPTA to life. I just have a couple questions. So along the lines of what I've been working on here in the city and all of our budget hearings, I'm focused on helping SEPTA become even more